Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the football podcast. The guys are here, they're talking games gone, games to come, and all the football in between. What more could you possibly want from a football podcast? I ask you. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Share the podcast around. People, share it around. We like it, we love it. Gets us out there into the world. Other people might enjoy it. If you enjoy it, maybe they'll enjoy it. Think about it that way. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, football podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your weekly football fix from us here at the CookieCast Podcast Network. For those of you joining us on YouTube, it's not much of myself, it's the usual three smiling, happy faces that are staring back at you, each representing Middlesbrough, Hull, and Nottingham Forest. So, Mr. Woodmansey, Mr. Moore, how are we, gents?
I feel like I start every one of these podcasts with, all right, but genuinely, not so bad.
Well, we'll obviously get to the fact that of the three of us, you should probably be the most positive.
No,
not to foreshadow any of the results from this weekend, of course. I'd say you should be the most positive in theory.
We'll see.
We shall see, and we'll waste no further time as we'll open with the first game of Week 20, which took place on Friday night, live on TNT Sports, a great channel, definitely not overpriced, where Wrexham were taking on Nottingham Forest. I can only presume that you were not able to watch any of this, as we've heard your lack of a TNT Sports subscription has cost you in the past.
But no, I don't pay for it anyway, but sure as hell wouldn't have paid for it for this. So, I've had the misfortune of watching highlights, shall we say? We went Forest. Obviously, TNT picked Wrexham Forest, just because it's a boring city in Wales and, just a boring city in the East Midlands. There's no reason as to why they would pick it up. Oh, no. Ryan Reynolds turned up conveniently for the telly. Who would have thought? He bought his man.
Who would have thought?
Yes. Much change side. I think there was 10 changes from the previous game. Something like that. And it started so well. I don't even know how to say this one. Casse?
It's Cacace, so Cachace, maybe?
We could come up with a good 10, 15, 20 different ways of pronouncing this. Either way, defensive mix-up at the back. Jai Cunha, the Brazilian lad that we signed in the summer, was in the middle of defence with Morato, who has been was good for 18 months and then has been terrible for the past 6 months and was at fault for this goal. Just seemed to just fall over / lose the man. Slotted in the back of the net. Forest had a chance or two, I think, but not long after that, Rathbone doubled Wrexham's lead. Again, complete confusion in defence. Morato, there was one stage where they were stood, you think, oh yeah, the defenders should be next to each other. Yes, kind of horizontally, not vertically as they ended up at one stage. So half time 2-0. And I just thought, let's just get it over and done with. But in his infinite wisdom, Sean Dyche brought on 3 players. which led to Jesus scoring around the 63rd minute. I can't think, was it a header? I want to say quite a decent header at the back stick.
Yeah. From what I can remember, I'm pretty sure it was like a sort of decent leap, good sort of downward where the keeper struggles to get to it. Header, yeah, decent goal.
Only for Wrexham to reinstate their 2-goal lead through Hyam. A free kick into the box, and nobody in a red shirt decided to defend it. So header at the back post. Yeah. And then I can't remember if Hudson-Odoi had come on at half time or whether he came on midway through the second half.
I think he might. Yeah, I think he came on and was pretty much instant impact. I think I don't think it was too long after he came on that he scored.
I'm trying to think which way around it was. First goal, he kind of was the first goal, the one that he just slotted in about the penalty spot. I think that one.
No, I think that was the equaliser. I think was the first goal not like a bit of a decent strike? It was quite a.
Yeah, so I couldn't remember which way around it was. The first, so it's the first goal. It was clipped into him. He chested it and then just kind of lobbed it over the keeper, kind of all in one kind of volley motion. And then the second one was fired in kind of about kind of 12, 14 yards out, kind of thing. To which he then Saturday posted onto his Instagram page, and you're kind of like. Yeah, 2 good goals. Oh, and he put his penalty from the penalty shootout on there as well. I'm like, come on, mate. Like, even if you're not running your social media page, maybe someone needs to read the room. So into extra time, I think there was chances at both ends. I think Forest looked the more likely to win the game, but Wrexham still had chances. But we went to the good old lottery that is the penalty shootout. I think James McLean took the first one and missed. And I was like, here we go. This is what we want. And then, no, we didn't. Jesus missed straight after that. So kind of back to being level. And it went all the way through till the final set of penalties of the 5. They scored, and Amari Hutchinson took a very tired-looking penalty, would have been my assessment of it. Their keeper made a really good save. He looks like he is a big lad, would be the assessment of that goalkeeper. And to be fair, for both the Hutchinson and the Jesus penalty, there wasn't anything massively wrong. He is just a big unit, but gets across his goal quickly. So out on penalties. I'm not going to cry about it too much. I don't really want to hear about Wrexham inventing football and giant killing, because it's not really a giant killing when there's barely 10 places between you in the in the leagues. You could have 6 divisions in between you and be the FA Cup holders and get knocked out. But we won't say anything about that. Unlucky Crystal Palace. I think the kind of key thing, and I think like you messaged me, Paul, was like, I can't think who they took Zinchenko off at half time. Apparently Forest are trying to send him back to Arsenal, but there's no get out of jail free card with that one. So cracking deal sign there. Bakwa came off. He's a young lad. I think he's just trying to get settled in. But obviously James McAtee got taken off because he was quite ineffectual. And then Sean Dyche took a page back to his playing career and just seemed to go in post-match just 2-footed on, he kind of the whole of the team for the first half. But kind of when you take 3 players off, they are kind of like the shining example of the 2 that are getting a kick in, the 3 that are getting a kick in. Zinchenko was always a funny one. I didn't know why they signed him in the first place. It felt like a placate Nuno job. Bakwa is hopefully one for the future, but at the rate we're going, any future prospects are going to be sold in the summer. And McAtee, I think, like I said, I think we messaged on WhatsApp. He's not had a run in the team, and he needs a run in the team, but he's not going to get one without playing well. So it's just like it's a swings and roundabouts kind of thing. It's not going to happen. He probably needs to go somewhere on loan. I don't care where it is. If it's in the Championship for the rest of the season and he goes and gets his confidence and gets playing again, if it's somewhere abroad for the rest of the season, then that's brilliant as well. Because I feel like we're going to need him at some point, you know. And we're going to, if he is as good as he appears to be, and he's looked good in a Man City shirt, and I know that's completely different when you're scrapping as a team. And but he looked good for England as well in the under-21s. He just needs some game time to get some confidence back, because I think, like I said to you guys, he's not really played football for 12 to 18 months.
Yeah. I think I just said he just looks completely bereft of any confidence. And obviously, when you're getting hooked before the hour, it's not a great like sort of show of like solidarity from the manager and stuff like that. But like you say, like, with a run of games, I think he'd be able to show what he's all about. But I think I might have even said it on the podcast previously that he'd been on it might have been in the chat that we have. It might have been that there was people that had sort of talked him up as a potential get for Borough, as like a massive sort of overreach in the January transfer window. And obviously it would be a massive shock if he dropped to the Championship. But yeah, I think he definitely either needs to get a run of games in Forest, or they do need to bite the bullet and just sort of send him out on loan, give him that 6 months. It might even be that he's better off going to sort of like an Olympiacos or something like that, like, you know, a completely different league, just to sort of change it up a bit, put him out of his comfort zone. I mean, he's clearly out of his comfort zone already. So, you know, what's moving to a different country at this point and stuff like that.
But you guys have seen this with like players that have come into your teams, and you know, when they've been playing shit, a player that's lacking confidence and, you know, is expected to do something, then comes in and the team is still shit, and one player is not going to make the other 10 shit players better. You know, he's just going to carry on. He's going to struggle because, you know, like if anybody's seen Forest in the past 6 games, which I have had the misfortune of seeing them, there's no space, there's no support, there's no like people running off him, and that's the kind of thing that he needs. And it's Elliot Anson getting the ball and then shouting at people because they're not moving the way he wants them to do, and Morgan Gibbs-White huffing around the pitch because no one's doing what they want them to do, and the wingers running up and down the wing and checking back and stuff like that. So he's not going to get the space that he needs to work because he needs other players running around him. So yeah, and the manager, yeah, this manager is definitely not a manager that is going to develop skillful young players. He's going to get big players that are going to run lots.
Well, I suppose, like you say, the one sort of decent thing that's come out of it is the fact they can concentrate on the league and the European games for the remainder of the season. Predictions wise, not a great deal of points in this one. Even though there were 6 goals scored, none of us predicted any of the goal scorers. I'd gone with a 2-1 Forest win, and neither Moore, Awoniyi or Bakwa scored. Matt had gone with a 2-1 Wrexham win, and neither Moore, O'Brien or Awoniyi scored. Stu went with a 1-1 draw and for Forest to progress on penalties, and neither Longman nor Awoniyi scored. So Stu does get a point for the fact that the game finished as a draw. So I'll give him that. So 1 point for Stu, no points for myself or Mr. Moore to start us off. Second game was my lot, and it was played on Saturday at 3 p.m. And obviously this one wasn't available on any Skybox, as it's Saturday at 3 p.m. And according to the government, that means no football on the TV. You know, unless you live in any other country that's not the UK, and the rights cost you about 6 pence to watch. But that's a thing for another day. So Fulham versus Borough. The raft of changes that I felt might have come for this game absolutely did not. Borough were pretty much full strength for this. Fulham, very much not. I think they arrested most of their sort of heavy hitters, but more on them later on. So Borough opened as the stronger of the two teams. By the sound of it on the radio, they were the one that was setting the pace, they were dictating the play, and they were rewarded on the half-hour mark when a little bit of pass and move stuff down the right-hand side between Silvera and Aidan Morris released Silvera into the top edge of the box on the right-hand side. I don't know if he nutmegged somebody, but he definitely sort of played it around them as if they weren't there. Spotted that Hayden Hackney had made his run from the penalty spot towards the 6-yard box, played it into his feet, and he just finished smartly there from about 6 yards out to make it 1-0. Good for Borough, the fact that he scored. Definitely bad for the fact that, puts a bit more attention on him from Premier League suitors, dare I say, in this January transfer window. So it was 1-0 at half-time. Fulham, upon being 1-0 down at half-time and having been bossed in the first half, made several changes and brought on their heavy hitters, one of which, of course, was Harry Wilson. And on the hour mark, it was his effort that brought the game level. I can't really explain it anywhere better than it was a standard Harry Wilson effort. Got it on his left foot, edge of the box, just curled it into the bottom left-hand corner. Went through a crowd of players, so the keeper was a bit unsighted, so can't really put much blame at Solbrin's feet for that one. So 1-1. Fulham went into the lead on the 77th minute, and it was another one of their big boy players. It was Emile Smith-Rowe, the man who learned everything he knew in the Hull academy. That's the tough tackler himself, Mr. Tom Kearney, played a lovely little slide rue ball into Smith-Rowe's feet. He'd spotted them, and it was actually a very, very good pass, to be fair. Into Smith-Rowe's feet, around about the penalty spot, he finished low under the keeper from about 12 yards out to make it 2-1. And as Borough were chasing the game to get back into it, Fulham got a third in the 3rd minute of injury time, and it was Kevin! And it was Wilson again who was the architect. He sort of clipped a little ball up to the back post, I think with the outside of his boot. Kevin found himself unmarked to slot it home from about 3 yards out. So yes, disappointing in the fact that Borough lost, but positive, they are now solely reliant on the league, so can concentrate on the push for promotion and try and finish in the top 2 to get up into the Premier League for next season. Predictions-wise, Stuart gone for a 1-1 draw with Fulham to progress on penalties. That didn't happen. But Kevin did score. Sadly, Tommy Conway did not. So 1 point for Mr. Woodmansey. I'd gone for a 2-0 Fulham win. Traore didn't score, but Wilson very much did. 2 points for me. Matt had obviously seen this and had gone for a 3-1 Fulham win. 2 points right there. He also had Kevin to score for Fulham. Sadly, Kusi Asare and Nipan did not find the back of the net. So 3 points for Mr. Moore, 2 points for Stu, 2 points for me over the course of those 2 games. And we take us to our final game of the week, which saw Hull City taking on Blackburn. This was on Sunday. Was not on the TV?
Correct. It was available internationally, but not locally. So yeah, not exactly the glamour tie of the round, given that we'd been thumped 3-0 at home by Blackburn. As I was saying on the podcast last week, in the Well, in the the club knowing best, they decided to close the north stand and the south stand, and in the end, it was only just over 6,500 fans decided that they were going to turn out on a freezing cold Sunday afternoon. Much like we'd turned out on the freezing cold game day previously, where the pitch was fine, but the sides weren't. However, I am pleased to report, for me, being at home, that the game went ahead. Unfortunately for those in attendance, as I say, it still went ahead. It wasn't exactly a thriller, shall we say, but it wasn't a 3-0 home thumping like we'd had in the league. Hull had to make a late change to the starting lineup as Matt Crooks was injured in the warm-up. And then 9 minutes into the game, Darko Gyebi was also subbed off with a groin strain. So when our squad is relatively small, we can't really do much with regards to paying for new players in January because of the transfer embargo. We seem to start picking up injuries left, right and centre at the moment. We've currently got 9 first-teamers out injured, which is, not a lot of fun. And to say that I was fuming about both of those injuries popping up in a game where really, Paul was saying I would at the beginning of the podcast, I would be happy to possibly be the happiest one. Well, to cut a long story short, the game was shit. It was 0-0 and we won on penalties. Am I happy about that? Well, I'm pretty sure you can probably tell. No, it's an extra strain on resources. I don't think we need it. I think that we probably would have been better off going out. And then you're thinking, well, it might be all right. You might get like a minnow in the next round and get to the 5th round cheeking. No, we've drawn Chelsea at home, which, by the way, the FA Cup draw is definitely not fixed at all in the slightest because Liam Rossini, appointed Chelsea manager, 4 days before that or whatever it was, coming back to his former side. It's going to be on TV. I'm sure it'll make some money for the club, which is a good point. But if we've only got 4 fit players by then, I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
When the guy that was drawing the home teams out, when he picked up the whole ball, did he do this? Because obviously the balls that he was supposed to pick up were heated, clearly. So no, okay, we'll move on. So yeah, not one to write home about, I dare say.
No, it went to a shootout. It finished 4-3 on penalties. Blackburn did us a favour, if you like, in terms of us Hull winning the game by missing the first 2 penalties, both saved by second choice keeper Dylan Phillips. In fairness, he had a good game, I thought, from the bits I'd seen. There was a few chances here and there, but he dealt with everything. He did remarkably well in the penalty shootout. They weren't like ones that were in the middle of the goal and he just happened to sort of stay still for long enough. It was both pens that he saved were in the corners of the net, and he sort of done his water bottle research and got down in good time. Hull's first penalty was taken by, you pick the first choice striker to take the first penalty, right? No, it was club captain, right back, Louis Coyle, and his penalty suffered the same fate. So the first 3 pens in the overall shootout were completely missed. Sean McLaughlin, former Hull player, took one for Blackburn, which was an absolute peach of a penalty. If you ever want to watch out to take a penalty, go and watch that one. But it went then all the way through to the end of the shootout, and it fell to David Akintola to take the last one for Hull. And he converted to the top left corner. He wasn't messing about, possibly, to win the game or possibly to make himself look like an idiot, but he had the self-confidence to back it and top bins it. So it was a decent finish.
Good man. Yeah, they're the ones that are always look good if they come off, but make you look a right wanker when they hit the underside of the bar and bounce out. Or just go entirely out of the stadium and just carry on like a comet, just in orbit forever. So Stu was the least optimistic of the bunch here. He had gone for a 1-0 Blackburn win. Montgomery to score, no points. Myself and Mr. Moore had gone for a 1-1 draw with Hull to progress on penalties. So we bag ourselves 2 points for that. Point for the correct result, and I've given us a bonus point for the fact that we even went for penalty shootout success. So all that means is that after the 3 games, Stu just has the 2 points. I have 4 points from those 3 games, but winning the week, Mr. Matthew Moore, a big 5 points from those 3 games. Congratulations to you, sir. So we move on with week 21 on the horizon, and it brings with it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fixtures to go through. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we go on. I know that Middlesbrough have made 1 full-time signing in the January transfer window so far, and it may actually be someone who comes in and and hits the ground running, so to speak, from a first team perspective. It's another. No, when did he sign for the club? It's
Thomas Redmill, so it says treadmill on the back of his shirt. That's the.
Oh God, that is so bad, so bad. It was another one that sort of came a bit out of the blue. Really, there was obviously talk that Borough were looking to improve the top end of the pitch, the attacking third, and they've moved to sign 20-year-old Leo Castledine from Chelsea. Obviously, not a household name. He's 20, but he did spend the first half of the season on loan at Huddersfield Town, where he had managed to get 10 goals in 23 games. So for a guy who probably sort of fair enough plays not as an out-and-out striker, I'd say it's a pretty decent return. Strangely enough, his senior debut came against Middlesbrough in the Carabao Cup run that Borough had when they got all the way to the semi-final a couple of seasons ago. So it's a nice sort of like full circle moment, I suppose, from that he's made his debut against them, and now it's the club that he's joined to continue his professional career. So that's the first sign that Borough have made. I don't know if Forest and Hull have made any additions yet so far for the first team anyway this month.
No, it's been very quiet.
I think, obviously last week I think did Callum Wendo go mid-pod?
Eintracht Frankfurt. I think he'd gone. He did go before we recorded because I think I had picked him to score in the cup, and then was unceremoniously told, "No, he won't be." So yes, that was very nice of them to get their business sorted before we went on air and made me look like a twat. So nice. So Leo Castledine may be a name that you might hear on the pod moving forward. So 5 games to predict. We'll start with the first one, which is the Williams household derby of West Bromwich Albion versus Middlesbrough. But we won't do it just now. We'll take a very, very short break and come back to you with that spectacular prediction to get us started for week 21. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And just like that, the break is over, and we start, as we stated, with West Bromwich Albion versus Middlesbrough. Now, Borough going into this on the back of the unfortunate nature of West Brom sacking their manager and installing a new guy. So, of course, it's the new manager bounce, ladies and gentlemen. Or will it be? We'll come to that later on. It's my team. I'll give my prediction last. So let's go to Matt for the first prediction of the week. What have we got down for West Brom versus the Borough?
You know I play this. I play this the same as when we have the podcast derby. I aim for marital bliss in the Williams household. So 1-1 draw, Maja and Whittaker.
Lovely Jubbly. Stu?
Put me down for the exact same, apart from Malumbi for West Brom.
Yes. He is a bit of a shithouse, from what I understand. So he's been sent off a couple of times before. Likes to put a tackle in. Tasty. I have gone for a West Brom goal, but I've gone for 2 Borough goals. Potentially a bit optimistic. But it's a Friday night, it's on TV, and the mother-in-law will be here to watch it. Ooh.
Fight.
So I've gone for Grant to score for West Brom, and I've also gone for Whittaker, but I have gone for a debut strike from the new guy. I think they might give him the last 20 minutes or so just to see what he's got. And I think he might sort of bring his Huddersfield scoring boots with him. So I've gone for Castledine to get the winner. We move to Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m, and it's Southampton versus Hull City. Obviously, it's Mr. Woodmansey's team. He will give his prediction last. I can only presume that you're not having the several hours slog down to the south coast.
No, I've decided against it, funnily enough. And the ticket. They also announced this morning that the tickets for Blackburn away went on sale, and I thought, do you know what? I've not been to Ewood Park, and then I remembered, no, because no, so we're just not going to that either. But no, not going to Southampton.
I would suggest to anyone who travels to Ewood Park, check the weather forecast, and if there's even a hint of a cloud, don't go. Yes, Southampton versus Hull, Stu's team, he will go last. I'll jump in here. I've gone for a 1-1 draw here. I've gone for Azaz to score for Southampton and Millar to score for Hull. Matt?
I've gone for a Southampton 2-1 win.
Ooh.
I also have Finn Azaz. I've also got Adam Armstrong, because I think I might have predicted him to be the top scorer in the Championship this year, because I think I do most years that he's in the Championship. I've also gone for Millar.
Millar! Go on, Stu, this will be your chance to tell us that Millar has suffered some sort of, herniated eyebrow or something like that, and he's not playing for the next 6 minutes.
No. I would have Miller probably starting against Southampton. Presumably he makes it through the warm-up, and he'll probably be the next long-term injury, seeing as all the ones that were injured last season are getting re-injured again. I agree with Matthew. I have gone for a 2-1 Southampton win. I can see us going through a bit of a sticky patch at the moment until this injury blight sorts itself out. I have also got Armstrong to score. I've got Cienza. And then for Hull, McBurney.
Ooh. I'm just going to have to double check the Cienza one. The only reason I know the name is because I believe he was one of the Southampton players that sort of stuck around to applaud the long-travelling Southampton fans that made the trip to the Riverside. Unlike his colleague, Mr. Azaz, who didn't like being told that he should have stayed at the Borough and proceeded then to just mouth to the Borough fans, "Cough."
Yeah.
So that was nice of him. SCIENZA. Lovely stuff. Our third game of the week is also on Saturday, but is a 5:30 kickoff. And I had to double check this because it's not on Sky, even though Sky does have that slot. It's a TNT game, which I thought was odd. Don't really know what's happened with the schedule in there.
Do you not
which
feel
just
like
means
it
that
gets
obviously
to Christmas though, and then they just like fucking make it up as they go along?
Yeah, do what the fuck they like, I think, is the general kind of much confusion as possible.
It's Nottingham Forest versus the Arsenal. Therefore, it's Mr. Mo's team. He will give his prediction last. Let's
Still
go to
tickets available as well.
Really?
Really? I got the email
Interesting.
thing. Did I fancy it? No, I don't.
Do you have a spare £85, Mr. Moore, you'd like to part with?
I don't want to spend God knows how much money just watching them get absolutely dicked on. So we'll come to that in a minute.
Stu, what's your prediction for Forest versus Arsenal?
1-2. Forest 1, Arsenal 2. I've got Hudson-Odoi for Forest and Gyökeres and Martinelli for Arsenal.
Ooh, we're very, very, very close there. I have also gone for a 2-1 Arsenal win. I've gone for a different double barreler, though. I've gone for Gibbs White to score for Forest. I also have Martinelli, but I've gone for the other Jesus involved in the game to score. I've gone for Gabriel Jesus. It's a Gabriel double, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus and Martinelli. I can only presume that Mr. Moore is in agreement with us, but potentially by a bigger scoreline.
Having watched them defend, and fair enough, take the Wrexham one out of it, I just can't. I mean, the main Achilles heel that Forest have had most of the time that they've been up in the Premier League has been set pieces. And, after Arsenal being famous for not being that kind of club, they are now famous for being Stoke City 20 years ago. And I just don't think Forest will be able to deal with it. Obviously, they played up towards so obviously they played well against Man City, but that was the best performance over Christmas, and they still lost. So I've gone for 0-3 to Arsenal.
Not even giving himself a goal, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think so. I've gone for Gabriel to get 2.
The centre half?
He scored.
Oh, set pieces. Yeah, God, yeah.
He scores loads though as well. I'll even kind of think and I've gone for Gyökeres because 1, I've taken the piss. 2, if you need your player to kind of turn their form around, go and play against Forest or play against one of our teams because that's what they do. So yeah, that's the one there. I don't think we stand a chance.
It's not a game that would fill me with a lot of confidence. Yes, certainly from a Borough perspective, I wouldn't like to be playing against Arsenal at any time. So yes, I very much agree. Our fourth game of the week takes us to the midweek fixtures, and it's a Tuesday night where we see Preston North End taking on Hull City. This one available on the Sky Sports Plus channel. No plans to travel midweek to Preston?
No. Obviously,
no.
We went on Boxing Day last season, didn't we? So already ticked that one off.
Yeah, Preston, one of the teams that seems to give a decent amount of tickets or stand space to away supporters. Yeah. Like more often than not, it's the full away, it's the full stand behind the goal. From what I understand,
I seem to remember saying last season it was one of them ones where it was a really decent day out, apart from the football. There was a car park that was operated by like a local school. That we parked in, so it was great because obviously they're raising a bit of extra cash for the school, but also incredible that the fact that the gate then opened to the working men's club next door that took away supporters in. I think we had 2 or 3 pints before the game and not really broke 20 quid like between us, so it was pretty good. And then we got the full end behind the goal, which obviously used to be a thing everywhere, which now it's like, you can have the corner.
Yes, Mr. Woodmansey's team, he will give the prediction last. Let's go straight back to Mr. Moore for his prediction on Preston versus Hull.
I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Goal scorers?
Divine and being as he's back on the northwest coast-ish area, Joseph.
Is there a bit of a ding-dong there? Preston and Blackpool. Don't think they like each other very much.
I mean,
Potentially.
Northwest, innit? I don't think anybody likes anybody in the Northwest.
no.
Yeah, it's a good point.
There's a
It's a good point,
general
well
kind
made.
of Blackburn, Burnley, Bury, Preston. They all hate each other.
God, I remember being in Burnley the weekend that they played Blackburn, and they were like hanging flags off bridges and all sorts on the motorway. It's like it's literally one league game that nobody else gives a shit about, and you're out. Like, I mean, to their credit, they were hanging flags off bridges before that was like a thing, weren't they? So maybe yeah.
Yeah, good point. I'm in agreement with Mr. Mutt. I also have gone for a 1-1 draw. I had to make a change to this last minute as I had Will Keane to score. And now he's been loaned to Reading, so I had to scratch his name out very quickly and replace it with Dobbin for Preston. And I've gone for McBurney to score for Hull. Stu?
I have gone for a repeat of Boxing Day last season in the respect of I've got us down to lose 1-0. We generally play shit against shit teams, so chalk this one off. Preston are having a good season, to be fair. They're probably overachieving, I think, from their current league position. So I don't think it'll be the walkover that sort of maybe some people might expect. So I've got Lewis down to score for Preston.
Yep, not seeing that name anywhere, so just going to put it in. Lewis.
At least I picked one that you could spell.
That is true. You're absolutely correct. So that just brings us to our final game of the week, and it is Stoke City versus my lot, Middlesbrough. This one being played on Wednesday and live on the Sky Sports football channel. Obviously, it's my team. I'll give the last prediction of the week. So we'll straight back to Mr. Woodmansey for his prediction on Stoke versus the Borough.
I have gone for a 1-0 Middlesbrough win. And to quote a certain Portuguese commentator that I may or may not have watched for the FA Cup game, my goal scorer is Aidan Acne.
Oh, my word. Matthew?
I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
Really?
Considering
scores?
Considering you have to go to West Bromwich and then come back to Stoke-on-Trent, it's nice and good kind of via drive past the stadium as you're driving home, kind of lovely kind of job. But yes, goal scorers, Manhoof, because every time, because it makes me laugh every time. And Gallagher.
Oh, God. I've forgotten that shithouse plays for them.
Yeah, he scored at the weekend
Christ.
as well. And then I've also gone Hayden Hackney and Bergzorg, because he doesn't get as many mentions anymore.
Rumoured that Bristol City are interested, and if we can get someone in, he may be allowed to leave. But I can't see that happening before next Wednesday, so I'll stick him down.
Okay.
But yes, you might want to get your Bergzorgs in whilst you still can. That's all I'll say.
He really mentions him, but the other person doesn't. Not here anymore.
that is true. He was a regular. He was a regular for Mr. Cook.
In fairness to Andy,
though,
at the time Andy used to mention his name, he did score an awful lot more than he has this season. So
very true. Strange enough, I too have gone for a 2-2 draw. And the first goal scorer I have also gone for was Manhoof. So I've gone for Manhoof and Cisse to start for Stoke. Hackney, and I can't quite believe I've written this name down, but I've gone for Conway.
He can't do it normally, but he can do it on a cold Wednesday night and stuff.
I obviously don't want points, as it seems.
I mean, I'll take the check in the post if he scores a hat trick on Wednesday.
Yes, please. Can you slag him off?
The piss, but
Can you slag him off for the last 10 minutes of the pod, please?
Just done it. It's always a stupid little throwaway comment. I think Mateta was he couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. I texted you the guys the other week. Oh, what a shock! Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injured again, which was duff information from Sky Sports. What a shock, And then I might have pronounced him as being shit or something like that. And now I've kind of mocked Eucharist, who will probably score a hat-trick against Forest at the weekend. And, Conway, like I said, can't score normally, but, can he do it on a cold Wednesday night in Stoke-on-Trent?
I still feel like your prediction.
Let's see.
Manhoof and Cisse sounds more like some sort of shit 80s soft rock act.
If that's what they want to do instead of playing football, then more power to them, to be fair. But yes, that does bring us to the end of the pod for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Unless you gents have got anything else you'd like to bring to the table?
Mm-mm.
Marvellous.
No, I think
excellent.
That is it.
Excellent. Well, as always, thank you very much for listening, for watching. If you like other things that we do here at the podcast, we do a wrestling podcast, Formula One podcast, American football podcast. Mr. Cook also likes to do his Darkest Timeline podcast. So there's plenty for you to sink your teeth into. Join us again next week where we'll go through those results and we'll have some more predictions for you. But until then, it's tatty bye from us and we will see you in a week's time. Bye for now.
So there we go. What do you think's that? Another one done. Another one gone. Big thank you for watching. Big thank you for listening. Big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button. And that way you can get in touch with us. Tell us who your favourite team is. Tell us what games you're looking forward to. What you think's going to happen. All of that good stuff. Let's get a dialogue going. Open a dialogue. Come on. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye. And I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to these grumpy old men talk about football. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.